Thursday, March 31st, World Media Coalition Jazz Lovers Television Network production of the Van Miller Talk Show, I Found My Voice, with the illustrious Van Miller, Sabdet Ma'at, the World Media Jazz Lovers Television Network, WMCJLTV on our Telegram network, Thursday, March 31st, 12 noon. With our special guest, Mushaba, Anakanda Mushaba of the Martial Arts Center, training for over 50 years in the martial sciences. Additionally, Van will host Makakuvu Ali El Bey, Hymn Chair Tepi, High Priest of the Het Chair Udama Akayur, Temple of the Line of the New Dawn, Thursday, March 31st. Also, a special report from the Lugansk Republic with Zulu King Frickson in the conflict zone in Eastern Europe, giving his report on the developments there on the ground. Again, this is the Van Miller Talk Show, I Found My Voice, Thursday, March 31st at 12 noon. World Media Coalition Jazz Lovers Television Network on our WMCJLTV Telegram network. Be there. Unscripted, unrehearsed, one take.
Peace, peace, greetings to all. This is World Media Coalition Jazz Lovers Television. Welcome to now another show in Telegram.
Udamakiyo, Zulu King Frickson. Udamakiyo, Ahmad.
Greetings, everybody. Greetings, Udamakiyo. Welcome to the World Media Coalition Jazz Lovers Television Network presentation of I Found My Voice on Thursday, 1 o'clock. Hope everybody's doing fine. This is the production manager, today production assistant coming out of Brazil, and Udamar Kiur.
Two in the chair. I'd like to welcome our guest, Brother Grandmaster, Supreme Grandmaster, Anakanda Mushaba from the Mushaba Center in California. Welcome, Anakanda.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
I'm looking at both of us, and we look like twins, brother.
I'm just sitting there saying, what the heck? We must be brothers, man. Oh man.
Yes, brother. Yes, man. You know, it's interesting that our paths have crossed with Dr. Carla Prince, because it's been a good 40 some odd years, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Since we last, since New York, since Brooklyn.
Right, right.
Exactly.
And I think the only interlude was when my cousin Lenny, who's been training with you, and y'all got to talking, and he mentioned my name, and y'all gave me a call after 30 years,
Yeah, yeah,
and then we saw each other last summer
yeah,
um, here in Georgia.
exactly. Yeah. And now the connection is done again and perfect.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, why don't you take our listeners back to Brooklyn?
And Brooklyn, Brooklyn was those were the what you call the good old days. The training, the training was beyond anything that I have ever seen or experienced in my life. I mean, Dr. Powell, he was so unique in what he done to the point to where his own teacher came to learn from him.
Right.
So that was like an amazing adventure. Back in that time, you really trained. It was none of that fluff. I mean, it was real hardcore training. If you learned something, you really knew it. You took it to heart. It became a part of who you are, a part of your whole makeup. And that was the most beautiful, precious time in my training that I could remember. So many experiences, so many things happening back in Brooklyn. And I tell you, I really yearn for days like that. Beautiful.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
When
yes.
you look, yes.
No, go
Pardon me, go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead.
And so, like, when you look around nowadays at the martial arts world and you see a lot of what is being done, it lost something. It lost the quality and the commitment that it used to have. It lost the whole life commitment and dedication. It just now is so much about just making money, looking pretty, not really doing anything. So that really hurts to see something so beautiful, so graceful, so loving, and so powerful, to be adulterated in the way that it's being done nowadays.
Yes, one of the things that struck me and continues to strike me is how they have co-opted wrestling into martial arts and calling it mixed martial arts.
Exactly.
You
I
know,
agree
you
with
you got to be a grappler in order to be considered a martial artist. And then they put a black belt around your waist or a red belt around your waist and call you a master. So
you. Yeah.
it really is a bastardization, if you will, of
Yes.
the true essence of the martial arts training.
Yes. I agree 100%.
Do you remember Kenny Brown?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. I remember Kenny. Yes.
He just called me.
Uh-huh.
He
Oh,
called me
okay.
last week, man. I asked him to come on the show. He was like, "Nah, man, I want to stay in the background." I said, "Man, you've been in the background all your life. About time you came out."
That's right. Come on forward now. Next time, that's what I like to see on the show.
Right, right, right. Well, I want to share an experience I had with Doc
Okay.
because it was on the mat, and he was doing a technique, and after he threw the person on the mat, and he went to strike him, but he focused the strike to the head. And there was so much energy coming out his hand. I saw waves of energy coming from his
Mm.
hand.
Wow. Yes. Yes. That is true. When Doc used to live with me up in Vermont, and we used to train every morning, him and a group of my students, and he he have he got so deeply spiritual to where he didn't even always have to touch you in order to hit you or to knock you backwards or whatever. It was amazing to see that side of his teaching of the martial arts, the deeply spiritual side, and
Right.
it comes out of you as you practice and put in the real time and the real training. that whole spirituality, that whole energy becomes a part of everything you do. So your punch becomes more than a punch, or your strike becomes more than a strike. Because I mean, he would do some movement and just put his hand up, and I would see students fly back. I'm like, what the, so it was really amazing. So I understand exactly what you're saying.
Right. And it's even I don't like to say blessing, because blessing, it means blood sacrifice, but it's through the grace and mercy of the Most High, just to be able to see it.
Yes.
To see it, and just to see it is part of the instruction. Fixing, I just got a text from Van. She needs a link to come in. Because she just texted me she can't get in.
Okay, I will be link sent to you in Telegram, and you can resend it to she, okay?
Okay. In the meantime, pull up Guerrero de Luz so Anakanda can see it.
What pull out?
Guerrero de Luz. From Brazil.
Oh, I try and find it.
I'm just texting Van.
Okay, I'm trying to find that video.
Do you want me to send it to you if I can find it?
No, I found it in history in Telegram. Trying to download it in YouTube.
Okay. This is Ahmad. You wanna talk about Guerrero de Luz with Anakanda and Carmepa.
Sure. Sure. Guerreros da Luz is I don't want to say a spinoff because it's not the right term, but it comes from the Nubian Algonquin Cultural Arts Center that I used to work with my dad. Comes from the Jackie Robinson Center of Physical Education. It comes from Tanukas Rule. It comes from When Worlds Collide. It comes from all of the influences that I received as a child. And then coming up, getting into capoeira and the martial arts, Guerreiros da Luz was what developed out of that, the paying it forward, to the children and the communities along the diaspora. So I decided after my first visit to Brazil that I wanted to do something worthwhile, something meaningful with the life I have. So I started Guerreiros da Luz, which is basically an after-school center, like the after-school centers that we're used to seeing in the States. Except beyond the martial arts that I teach, which is Sinukushu Jiu-Jitsu, Shotokan, and Kyokushin, Karate, and Capoeira. I teach meditation, the laws of attraction, spiritual laws and principles as I know them without a religious context, laws of Ma'at and things like that without giving them any barriers, so they're not judging any other religion or any other spirituality, just giving them the building blocks, and then working with the older communities by doing healing arts, massage therapy, teaching them meditation as well. Other types of therapy, and just kind of consulting on a spiritual level. So I just got a space on the island where the cultural center is. The cultural center that we built is inactive because of some issues with some foreign colonizers that are still in the act of neo colonization, and they don't want the center to be there. So I got a new space here, which is going to be the headquarters for the spiritual center. So we're going to concentrate on meditation, alternative therapies, homeopathy, and anything else we can put in this small space. I've had it for about a week now. Just got the keys, still painting and cleaning up, and noticing little cracks and stuff. But we're moving forward. and things are good. So friction will show the video, which gives you the entire concept of the full scope of what I'm trying to do here.
Okay. That's beautiful. Sound really beautiful.
Took these kids and these kids to let them interact together. What if we did that with kids from all over the world? I think we can make the world a better place. Guerreros da Luz is an organization that wants to do exactly that. This organization, the idea for this organization started in 1998 when I was asked to represent the United States in a capoeira tournament in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. While I was there, I met a group of 6 kids who were homeless and living on the streets. Once they met me, they were stuck at my side, always asking questions and always happy. This really changed my life. Ever since then, I've dedicated my life to try and make this experience somebody else's experience as well. What we plan to do with Guerreros da Luz is take kids from New York, LA, Africa, Japan, all over the world, and bring them in small groups of kids to interact with other groups of kids. The headquarters is going to be on Morro de Sao Paulo, Brazil. Morro de Sao Paulo is a little island off the coast of Bahia. It's full of nature, not a whole lot of media influence. It's a great place for kids to be kids, interact with life and each other. This fundraiser is to raise money with your contributions to build the headquarters, the world headquarters on Morro de Sao Paulo. This past summer, we were donated a plot of land on the island that has already been cleared to build this cultural center. Now it's time to take the next step and actually start the building process. We have a team of people that are working with us. We have architects, we have engineers, we have teachers, and if you put all of our experience together working with kids, we have over 60 years of experience. This is a great project. It's a world unity project, and it's something that we can all get together and help and share and do our part to change the planet, to change the world, because the children are the future, and we need to do something to make sure that they have a future to take care of.
Wow. Beautiful.
Now that's in Brazil. Friction, Van just joined Telegram. I'm trying to invite her. Can you invite her? Let me see. I'm not having any luck hitting invite where it says invite members.
Oh, yeah, I see she. Yeah. Just add. It's 90350.
Yeah, it just showed up that you accepted her in.
Yeah.
Can you tell her how to get in?
She must enter to this room.
Let me text her.
Oh, she is in the room.
She's in. Welcome.
Yes.
Now we got some sunshine and blue skies in the conversation here. Welcome, Van Miller. Unmute yourself. This is the talk show host. She's a world-renowned fashion designer, and it's always a pleasure when she comes in because she's always on a movie set or a television set.
Y'all be doing, listen, y'all have to let me know when y'all are making moves. I'm just like, okay, where are they at?
you noticed
so how's everybody doing?
But you didn't know where we were, huh?
No, I did not. I was like, what are they talking about?
Well, I want to introduce you to our guest, Anakanda Mushaba. He's from out of California, but he and I go back over 50 years.
Yes.
He's a martial artist. He's from he and I originally were training in Brooklyn, back under Moses Powell. And it's a pleasure to have him. And you would never believe where I ran into him. Dr. Carla Prince was doing an event with Bobby Hunter last summer. It was her event, and I ran into him there. In the meantime, a couple of years before that, because he's in California, my cousin has been training with him, and my cousin gave me a call and put him on the line. And then I ran into him with Dr. Carla Prince last summer. So, and I'm going to let him tell you about what the project is that Carla is doing, because she spoke about it, Roots of the Heart. But she's already doing some things to acquire some property that we'll be able to have access to as well. But before I turn the mic over to him, I want to turn the mic over to you so you can introduce yourself to him.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Van Miller Talk Show, a unscripted show where we are every Thursday at 12 noon. We come to talk about what's really going on in the world, a place where we can come and speak freely to what it is that we want to speak about, and we're not bleeped out, we're not cut off, or we're not took down. And we just welcome each and every one that has taken the time out of their busy schedules on a Thursday to come here and be with us on this platform. First of all, I'm a designer. And then I am a woman, a 60-year-old woman, 60-some-year-old woman that has a voice, and realize that having a voice doesn't necessarily mean just, speaking and talking to things, but being able to really speak to who you really are and not have to take back for anyone. And I love the place that I am in my life at this point. I love the things that I'm doing and the journey that I'm on. And I would admonish each and every one of you that are on this call to begin to look at your life and to know what your journey is, because we are living in a space and time. This is not the place, and we're going to be moving on. And so you need to know what it is that you have attributed and what you're going to attribute to the next place, because everybody's not going to go. And you definitely want to be one of those people. So again, I say welcome, welcome, welcome to each and every one of you. So that's who I am.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're not going to get off that easy, Van.
Oh, boy.
You ain't told the whole truth. Now you gotta tell the truth, nothing but the truth. So help you the Most High. Now, please give him your background on some of the things that you do, the movie sets that you've done, the project that you have forthcoming.
Well, it's so crazy. It's like people say, "Oh, well, you do." It's crazy when you do a lot of things and it doesn't come back to your remembrance until you see it. It pops back up on your social media, and I'm like, okay, I did that. But I just move forward. I do what has been placed in my life, and I move forward. I am a child, first of all, a person that has a conscience, and a person that loves people. And I feel that when we love people, no amount of money can take the place of that. But I'm a designer. I've been doing that for some 45 years. I am an editor with a few magazines. I have did some acting myself. Have been nominated for a Tyrion Award for a stage project that I wrote called Finish the Dream. I have, oh my God. What else do you want to know, Marco Kubo? Oh, I am an ambassador for the WOOP out of Lagos, Nigeria. I grew and by with Marco Kuvu. I was a moderator for the New My Kingdom when they came, and it was an amazing opportunity to just be able to speak to His Highness and Her Highness. I am presently working on several film productions. I've just got off, been on 2 weeks, taking a week break, and then I'll be back. I have a project premiered last week. I'm a wardrobe stylist for that. And it was called Here Comes the Sun. with Terry Vaughn. I have a project that's actually going to be premiering this Saturday. Gerald's Hands. I was a associate producer on that project as well as wardrobe. Have a lot of projects. I really didn't realize, Michael Coover, that during COVID, I have worked so much, and all of these projects are coming to fruition in the next few months. That's just crazy.
You see
So
what I mean,
I just
Anakanda?
love life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love life, and I've
That's
begun to
good.
tell people to they just say you do a lot of things. I'm a distributor I have my own alcohol
Mm.
spirits. I have a actually healing water called Be Energy Water. And actually Howard just left going to North Carolina to deliver some water for
Wow.
an event this weekend. And I just put the balls in the air, and I tell people, people say, oh, well, you're doing too much. No, you're not doing too much. It's a season where whatever it is that you're wanting to do, you have to put it out there. And I say, if one of the balls falls to the ground, it's not its season. So you leave it there. Don't bend down to pick it up. You keep on keeping the rest of the balls in the air. And so that's the place that I'm in. I'm about growth. I'm about making sure that we are where we're supposed to be when the end comes. And I don't want to miss anything. I said to someone the other day that, you don't want to get wherever the end is. And they're going to say, where are the people that were supposed to be with you? So I'm just making sure that I take everybody that's supposed to be with me with me.
Right on.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let you explore Anaconda's world.
Yes.
So you wanted me to speak a little bit about, you said Roots of the Heart, or?
Well, before you get to that,
Yeah.
I know you've been doing a lot in the last 50 years.
Oh, yeah.
So
I love everything that she's talking about, because one thing I always tell people, life is short, even at its longest. It's still short.
That's correct.
No matter when it happened, it's always too soon. So you want to be able to really express yourself and do whatever it is that you feel you want to do, whatever you feel drawn to do. And that's the whole thing. See, with the Mushaba martial artistry, just like the brother who spoke before about his son in Brazil, that's right on the line with the things that I'm involved in. I wrote 22 books, self-published 12, and books on spirituality, on positive thinking, on healing, on the history of the Black race, even from the standpoint of extraterrestrials. So there's a lot that I really love to do and to put out there for people. Healing has been something that I've done ever since I can remember. I remember at 14 years old, I started teaching, started healing. So there's several different healing modalities that I also do or teach or offer. And the youth has always been my favorite target, the young people, because as the brother said, they are the future, and if we don't give them the opportunity, we will have none. So so I used to take kids during the summer up into Vermont when I lived on the East Coast, and have them up there for 6 to 8 weeks and have them training, out in the water, in the mountains, in the woods, and just teaching them education, spirituality, and mainly teaching them about themselves, who they are, and their potential. So, and also I do have projects. There's a few film scripts that I wrote, and eventually I'll get around to, seeking funding for them. But, the thing that you said is really inspiring. I love to see people really go after their dream with a passion. And I never believed in being limited by what someone say age. Oh, you're too old, or you're not young enough, or I don't believe in that. If you feel it, go for it. Age has nothing to do with it. So I applaud you for what you're doing, and I love it. And I want to continue to work closely with my brother here. And actually, I might need to get in touch with you about something, about maybe some wardrobe for my film projects. So
Oh, okay. Well, just let us know. Let us know.
yeah,
That's what we're always doing. Yes.
yeah, excellent.
Yeah. Yes.
One of the things that's on the agenda in the future is to be able to put together a group of us to get to Brazil.
Oh, beautiful.
To the island there, do some martial arts training and some meditation and some holistic healing,
Yes.
and enjoying where Ahmad is and what he's doing, and
Yes.
then to be able to just circulate through everything that all of us are doing, so that we can have the foundation. This is our television network, and I'm looking forward to being able to produce on. There are two platforms here: the World Media Coalition and the Jazz Lovers Television Network. That's one LLC with two broadcast platforms. The philosophy is news, business, arts, culture, and entertainment last. The type of entertainment we do is focused on spiritual and cultural entertainment. World Media Coalition handles news and business. Jazz Lovers Television Network, arts, culture, and entertainment. So as we move into the future, one of the things that we want to do is begin to produce our own television series and our own movies and broadcast them on our network, and then host our own award ceremonies as well. So those are some of the things that are on the horizon for this network. We've only been functioning for not even a year and a half so far.
Okay.
I've been doing television for over 20 some odd years, none of which was with mainstream media, all with community organizations and television production companies in our neighborhood with our people. So to be able to have developed our own business platform now and to move forward with it gives us the opportunity to bring to our community news and business that mainstream media ignores. So talk about Roots of the Heart now with Dr. Carla Prince, because Van initially did an interview with her before we launched her program, Healing from Our Trauma with Dr. Carla Prince.
Wow. Yes, that's Roots of the Heart is a really beautiful organization. It's not even a concept. It's something that's a reality, you know. And the property that she have to run this center is amazing. And the people that she will be able to reach out to help to bring in, it's going to be life changing. And that's exactly what we need. People need to have an opportunity to not to be judged by what they went through, because what you go through is not who you are. It's just what you go through. But there's another part of it where Roots of the Heart, like, do the digging and the pick and shovel work, and until it find that diamond in the rough. And when it brings that diamond out and polish it and shine it, boom, there's a whole other level to it. And that's what I love about what Roots of the Heart is doing. And I'm so happy that, you know, to be a part of it, you to be a part of it. And I look forward to really getting this thing off the ground, because it will help people to become the best version of themselves, to constantly grow and evolve, to become your authentic self. That's where it's at. This life is so full of facades and fakeness, and you have to be this, where you got that with society tell you that, to where we lost who we are. Well, Roots of the Heart is trying to bring us back to that point. But again, there's no one more qualified than Miss Prince to really talk about it. But I hope I did her justice.
Yes, and the property he's talking about, Van, is 38 acres.
Oh, wow.
It's two parcels. One is 38 acres, the other is 100 acres. And it's
Mm-hmm.
down toward Macon, Georgia. So moving forward, we'll have an opportunity to not only visit, but participate in the growth and development, or the further growth and development of the heart, as you already know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah.
It is.
It's one of my things is to ultimately look at why are there so many people, when we say homeless, and there are so many empty spaces, empty buildings. where people could be living. You know,
That's
that
right.
we would rather board them up and just let them fall than be able to put somebody in them that really could just, you know, get out of the weather.
That's right.
Summer is coming and it's going to be hot, and you know, they need to be off the street, because as we drive along, we see that more and more of these homeless people out there are women and children,
Yeah.
and they're elderly Black men that need medical help and care, and they need to be in a place where they can get that. You
That's
know,
right.
and we, what kind of people are we that we continue just to turn our heads? And you
Right.
know, people say, oh well, I went out and I fed the homeless. You went out and fed the homeless today, but when are you going back, or are you ever going back out there to do that? So, you know, we need to look at that, because it's a time. It's the time. I mean, this is coming to an end, and you know, we need to be able to do
Yeah.
something about it.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, that's my
Definitely.
ultimate.
Definitely. It's coming to an end faster than people think.
That's
I'm
right.
Exactly.
following. Yeah, I'm following the weather trends in Antarctica and the Arctic.
Mm.
Both of those regions have had temperatures that have risen 70 degrees above normal for that area.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Several glaciers have already split
Yep.
and fallen into the ocean. And that's been happening for the last 10, 12 years,
Mm-hmm.
but it's accelerating now. And one of the things
Yes.
that people talk about are the rising of the oceans. Well, what they don't talk about is the fact that when the water increases, the oceans, the ocean levels, that water has weight to it. And as that weight of the
Okay.
water comes down around the size of the earth, well, first and foremost, the axis of the earth is already 23 and 1/3 degrees, which means
Mm-hmm.
it's almost on its side.
Mm.
If you're standing straight up, that's 90 degrees. But if you tilt to a degree, an axis of 23 and 1/3 degrees, that means you're almost laying down.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So now with
And
the
then I think
water,
about too, and when you say that, when you say what it is that you're saying, I also think about so many states have places that are continuously burning. Trees are continuously burning.
Mm.
Then
Yes.
when the water comes, it continues to tilt because there's no weight to help to keep it upright.
Mm.
So as it tilts over, and when we go back, because scripture says it won't be water but fire this time, but it's because the fire is already burning ahead.
Mm.
The water is may still be what carries everything down, but the
Yes.
fire is constant, and people are not seeing that.
right, right. So in order for us, and it has to do with what Anakanda was speaking about earlier, the spiritual side of the reality we live in.
Mm-hmm.
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 Raising your spiritual consciousness, because that's the only thing that's going
Yep.
to guarantee you safe passage.
Yep.
No,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
no airplanes, no boats, no guns, no bombs,
Nope. Nope.
nothing.
Nothing.
Nope. Nope.
Nothing is going to get you there.
It's the
You got to
spiritual
be
involvement.
spiritually aligned.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that's right.
Your vibration can tap into whatever changes the earth is going through so that
Mm-hmm.
you can ride that wave.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. That's what's going to do it. The earth is so far behind in spiritual involvement because of so
Mm-hmm.
much manipulation, tampering with real history, but people have to take it upon themselves to seek their spirituality and to be able to really evolve
Mm-hmm.
themselves. That way you can be in tune with everything that's going on. You'll know what moves to make, when to make them, and how to survive this whole thing. Yep.
Exactly.
I
Mm-hmm.
agree with you. Yep.
And it has nothing to
Yeah.
do with religion.
No.
Nothing.
Spirituality and religion is two different things. And I always try to tell
Nothing.
people that it's not the same. Because you involved in religion don't mean you're spiritual at all.
Exactly.
It don't mean that. Spiritual religion is just like any other belief system, whether it's Buddhist, whether no matter what it is, it's a system of belief. And I always tell people, in my understanding, a belief is not really true or false. It's a belief. It's true to the one who believes it, but it may be false to somebody else. So it's not really true or false. It's just a belief. Spirituality is where you find, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
I want to bring in Zulu King Fixin. Fixin is part of the Universal Zulu Nation, Anakanda.
Okay.
And he's and I don't know if you know, but I think I might have told you a little while ago that I'm also the official high priest for the Universal Zulu Nation.
Yes,
so
I think you told me that. Yes, in Atlanta. Yes.
Yeah. So I want to bring Fixin in because Fixin lives right now. He's right there in the Lugansk People's Republic, and the Lugansk People's Republic is that area that is being in the conflict zone of the territory of Ukraine. And I say the territory because Ukraine is not a country. And you hear them talking about Zelensky wants a no-fly zone, but they can't institute a no-fly zone because Ukraine is still part of the Russian Federation. So if they implemented a no-fly zone, they would be flying in Russian airspace.
Okay. Wow.
So that's the deal here. That's why they can't send troops in, because they would be invading Russian territory.
Okay.
So Fixin, go ahead and give Anakanda the background on what's happening where you are.
Yes, the main point of this conflict it is the genocide of Russian-speaking people in our territory. We was living in Ukraine before 2014. Like you know, back in the days we was all the part of the USSR, Soviet Union. So I was born in 1985 when still was the Soviet Union, and my parents was born in Soviet Union and have Soviet Union education. My grandfathers, grandmothers. So we always was Russian people, Russian speak people. And when the Soviet Union was break, so then was the Ukraine have independence, and we was living in Ukraine many years. Have no problem with Ukrainian people. I also can speak in Russian and also can speak in Ukrainian language. I know the Ukrainian language. I was study Ukrainian language in the school. We have Ukrainian literature education in school. But in 2013, start the so-called Russophobia against Russian people from Ukrainian government. They start blocked our education subjects to study Russian language, Russian literature, Russian culture. So they start make Russophobia everywhere in the media. They start to translate the movies that we understand. So we see on the television Russian movies, and Ukrainian government make subtitles in Ukrainian language. I don't know why. I understand Russian language, so why I need watch these movies in translation with subtitles. I understand all languages, Ukrainian and Russian. So Ukrainian government start blockade and make some laws that was pushed against the Russian people. So our people, Russian people in the east side of Ukraine, start make the protests, meetings against this Russophobia, Ukrainian politics, and then Ukrainian politics trying to using the military groups that have Russophobia ideology. It is so-called Nazi military groups, Azov Battalion or Right Sector. Many years from 2014, 8 years we have conflict, and Ukrainian government, Ukrainian army drop the hard gunnery bombs on us. In 2014, they shot in the center of Lugansk city from airplane. And nobody from that time speak about this situation from 2014, 2015, 16, and nowadays nobody, media don't show this exactly. The West media, I'm telling about the United States and also Europe, they try and make blockade of this information. They try and show this like a so-called anti-terrorist operation. They called, Ukrainian government called it like anti-terrorist operation. They said that the people like me or like my brothers, sisters, my fathers and grandmothers, every people who support Russian culture and anti-Russophobia ideology. So these people, Ukrainian government called the terrorists, the separatists, and trying to using their force to make genocide of our Russian people. This I can make parallels, like it is in the USA, the white supremacy try and make genocide of the African people when they not show the great African people who was in space or in science. So something like that it is now was in Ukraine. All people who try and support Russian ancestors, Russian Aboriginal people in our territory was called the separates and the terrorists. So this Russophobia politics from Kiev and Ukrainian government have many hating, and they also put this Russophobia ideology in the Ukrainian educational system. Many years they print the books from 2014, and for nowadays they print the books and try and show and teach the kids, little Ukrainian kids, to hate Russian people. We today in some positions in some territories that today free from Ukrainian this government. Today, like Russian army trying to help us in Lugansk People's Republic and Donetsk People's Republic fight against this Ukrainian regime. So in some schools and in some cities, in some museums that today our soldiers from Lugansk People's Republic cleaned from Ukrainian army, they found the books, and many in these books you can saw the Nazi symbols and also the texts that teaching the hating against the Russian people. So I want to show you also some videos of today, what's going on. Maybe the man Jeff Monson. He was in part the citizen of United States of America, and in 2014 and 2015, by the way, he also the martial arts fighter, Jeff Monson, he is visiting us in Lugansk People's Republic and get the passport of Lugansk People's Republic. He is support our people, and about a few days ago he makes the video that he try and explain what he is see there. Maybe you saw the video of Arnold Schwarzenegger from Germany that make the video against Russian governments. He speak about the stop the war, the Putin invasion. So the Jeff Monson, martial arts artist, also make the video, and I want you to saw this video.
This is value of television.
You know, I love you very much. I respect you, but you've been lied to by Vladimir Putin and by the Russian government, and that this war is a war of conquest for Vladimir Putin, and there's no reason for it. Well, Arnold, I want to respond to this. You say this war is a war of conquest by Vladimir Putin, and that's the reason that the Russian government gave for this war. That's completely not true. And something that not only you, but the Western media completely ignores every time is what Russia said the number one reason is for protection of its borders. In 1990, NATO, the United States, promised that NATO would not expand 1 inch further. George Bush I said this after Russia pulled out of East Germany and Germany reunited. So not 1 inch further. Since then, 14 countries have joined NATO, and now promises to Georgia and Ukraine. So since 2008, Vladimir Putin has been saying, you can't go to Ukraine. NATO cannot go to Ukraine. Right on our border, it's our ex-republic. You cannot go to Ukraine. And this has been completely ignored. And it's also being ignored by the Western media and by the U.S. government for saying, oh, this is a war of conquest. This, they want to, take and occupy Ukraine. This is not true. This is not true. And the Kremlin says this is not true. It says, no, we want to protect our borders. NATO is not welcome. We've said this many times. This is the narrative. This is the reason, one of the underlying reasons. But Arnold, in your video, you completely ignored this. And Mr. Putin and the Russian government have said, hey, this is very important to us. In fact, CIA Director Bill Burns in 2008 said, this is a red line that you cannot cross. We cannot cross in the United States. This is like the brightest, quote, the brightest of all red lines, meaning that we can't expand NATO to Ukraine because Russia will not allow for it. In 1962, Russia tried to put a base into Cuba, and the United States said no, put their foot in the sand, said we can't expand here, and we almost had a war over this. So it's almost World War III back in 1962. Arnold, you say that Russia started this war. In fact, you said Putin started this war. This war has been going on for 8 years. 8 years. In 2014, the Ukraine invaded Donbass, invaded Donetsk and Lugansk, and been bombing them, targeting civilians for 8 long years. I've been there probably a dozen times myself and witnessed this with my own eyes, seen the bombs come over the hospitals, the airport, the schools. I went to the orphanage a couple of times. They're targeted. They're not even military personnel or targets in the town center and all this stuff. Nobody's on the social media saying we stand by Donbass, we stand by the people, the 100 and some children that have been killed, and the 14,000 people of Donbass that have been killed by mortars coming over. Nobody says nothing about that. Nobody's protesting Ukraine. Nobody's sanctioning Ukraine or putting Ukraine on, athletes can't compete in the Olympics or anything like that. But Russia is getting the full treatment of all sanctions and all punishment for a war that's been going on for 8 years. And also, Arnold, you say this war that Mr. Putin, claimed that there's Nazis there, and you say, oh, there's only a couple, and there's a lot of Nazis there.
I know that your government has told you that this is a war to denazify Ukraine. Denazify Ukraine. This is not true. Ukraine is a country with a Jewish president, I might add, whose father's 3 brothers were all murdered by the Nazis.
Not only do you see it on the videos, not only do you see it in the papers and on the pictures, but they're all over. They're paramilitary groups that Zelensky pays. Yes, he's Jewish, but he still pays these not the guys. They're not skinheads. These are not American skinhead wannabes. These are like Nazis with swastikas, with like military equipment sent by the United States. This is just like a tip of the iceberg, really, for why Russia's having to intervene. And speaking of this, nobody ever talks about in the Western media what is Russia to do. Russia's to blame. They're invaded Ukraine. They're killing innocent people. They made a war. Well, this didn't make a war. This war's been going on that Ukraine started 8 years ago. But what is Russia to do with NATO at its border, right? And threatening to move into Ukraine? Russia's already surrounded by 27 different countries with NATO, some with nuclear facilities, all of them with military bases. And now they're threatening, not only threatening, they're promising to go to Ukraine, right at the border of Russia, an ex-republic. This is our red line. You cannot cross this. They tried diplomacy, they tried asking, they tried pleading, they tried threatening. The West just didn't listen. So Russia had to finally take a stand. Russia finally had to intervene. Russia finally had to say, you've crossed the red line with this NATO membership. You crossed the red line, killing these people for 8 years in Donbass. And what are we to do? We have to put a stop to this. And Vladimir Putin took an oath, and so did the government officials of Russia. They took an oath to protect the citizens of Russia. An oath to protect the citizens of Russia. He's protecting the citizens of Russia from NATO, at its borders, and from protecting the people that are supposed to be protected by Russia in the area of Donbass.
The many people today also in Russia against the Russian government, and they not suppose these deeds, but 8 years, like said also Jeff Monson, 8 years we are under pressure of Ukrainian government, and we trying to build a dialogue. We trying to make with Ukrainian government some agreements. The agreement was on the paper, peace agreement was on paper, but dialogue not was under construction. And about this today start the war. And today you must know that many people that was under control of Ukrainian government today, these territories that not already occupied by Ukraine, the territory of Donbass, free from Ukrainian government, and people meet the Russian army with joy. They glad that today they can speak free in Russian language. And I also a few days ago meet some refugees from that escape from Ukraine, and it is the father and the son that was under the pressure of so-called right sector, the Nazi military group, still stay in their little village in Ukraine, and this right sector hate these people because they are from Donbass, and they are from east part of Donbass, and this right sector military Nazi groups, they came from Lvov city, Ivano-Frankovsk from west part of the Ukraine, and they have even they have descendants of Nazi fascists. Their grandfathers was in World War II living in Ukraine, but they working on the Nazi Hitler regime, and this is the descendants of these fascists, modern Nazism now was built in Ukraine many years ago, about 10 or 15 years ago, and today this regime is trying to make genocide of Russian people, but we not give them our land. Not they came to our land. Not we came to the Kiev. Not we came in Ukraine in 2014. They came to our land. So we protect our land.
Right on. Fixing, let me give Anakanda an opportunity. He has to go, so I want to say a few words before he leaves.
Wow, great. Thank you so much. I really enjoy being here and enjoying the show and meeting everybody that's on the show. It's a lot of really good expertise and very spiritual people here, and it's been a real joy and a real pleasure for me. And I look forward to us getting together soon. I'll be making my move to Atlanta probably in about another 4 to 5 weeks. So
Okay.
we'll be able. Yeah. So we'll be able to hook up and get this tournament off the ground and all the other things that we want to work on. So once again, my pleasure. Thank you for having me. Thank everybody on the show for listening. Peace and blessings.
You in the chair, Udamakio. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So Fixing, pull up the picture. You want to take us out with the music and the picture?
Yeah, I also want to show you the video few days ago. It is the people from the territory of Donbass where today our Russian soldiers they free these people from occupation of Ukrainian government, and they today make some humanitarian deeds because people have no food, have no water, and Ukrainian government not help these people. So today these people already under protection of Lugansk People's Republic, and this territory is free from Ukrainian regime. So you see the Russian soldiers who bring them food and feed these people and try and save them from humanitarian catastrophe. I hope soon we have already free all territories of Donbass, and we will be living in peace. Today contains the dialogue of Moscow and between Ukraine. Maybe they have some dialogue and stop this war and make some agreements. Because I think if Ukraine today make all agreements that Moscow said, it will be peace. Because today in Ukrainian cities where Russian army is came and people not go against army, there is the peace and there no war. And territory in Ukraine where military groups try and fight with Russian army, there is the most big conflict. We not people don't want the war. It is the little military groups that was built by this rich so-called New World Order. Maybe you hear not so long Biden talk about the New World Order, and today also the Russian Ministry of defense, military defense, find the facts of biological laboratories that was in Ukraine, in Kharkov city and other cities, and they have improvements of this. And I also glad that the people from Universal Zulu Nation sent some good information. They also search it, and I glad that Universal Zulu Nation search the facts and support the truth, because media trying to show only one side of the truth, and you can not trust me, but you can make your own research, and this will be the truth. Thank you.
Mm. Mm.
You know,
Thank you, King Frickson.
right. You know that we will always get the information from you, so we know what's going on here at the World Media Coalition, Jazz Lovers Network. Van, you want to have a few parting words?
Yes, it's a time and a space that we're living in, and we know that almost every place, whether we have picked up arms to physically harm each other, whether we're harming each other with words, or just our thoughts, and in a day and time that we're living in, we too are always in a war of the minds, a war of the spirit, and just warring with each other. Times that have been said years and years ago that will come to pass. And so we would admonish each and every one of you to prepare yourselves mentally and physically for what is going on around us. And so until next Thursday, we would say to each one of you, have a great and blessed weekend, and join us here on Telegram, the WMCJLTV. That's the World Media Coalition Jazz Lovers Television. Until next Thursday at 11 o'clock, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Two in the chair.
Good and sure. Good amount of you.
Ahmad, do you want to say a few things going out? He's back on mute.
Mm-hmm.
Take us out.
No, I'm fine. Nothing to say.
You already said.
Hi, Ahmad.
Hey, how you doing, Van?
I am doing fantastic. My new word for the year, fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Love it. Love it. When you get a chance, take a look at how we open the show.
When I get a chance to do what now?
You get to take a look at how we open the show.
We got to figure out how to get all our people over here, because that was a challenge.
Thank you all. World Jazz